Welcome to Fuzzy Memories, the podcast that celebrates the good, the rad, and the fugly of the 80s and 90s.
We're three latchkey kids who made it out alive. I'm Heath.
I'm Amy.
And I'm Erin.
And today we're going to celebrate the hits, the misses, and the misfits of the year 1984. As we were just saying before we recorded, this is a chock-full year.
It's a hot year.
Everything was coming in hot in 1984.
Hot. Movies, TV, hot.
Yes.
I like that summarizes everything for me. Movies, TV's hot. That's it. That's all you need to know about 1984.
You get it. You get it, listeners.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Well, Erin, you had an idea of a question we should ask ourselves at the beginning of this episode. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes we'll ask, where we were, headspace and everything, but sometimes we might have been a little too young.
For a headspace check.
For a headspace
Yeah.
check.
Yeah.
Such as this year for you.
Yeah, I mean, I was 3.
Yes.
In 1984.
I bet you were awesome at 3.
I want to believe I was,
Yeah.
but
Can we call your mom?
That will not give us the answer we want.
You're not going to, yeah.
I'm going to imagine that you were a 3-year-old with all the secrets of wisdom locked away in your little brain.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
where I'm going.
gross
And then it was beaten
miscalculation
out of
of me
you.
at 3, I
It was
think.
beaten out of you by Catholic school.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that tracks. Yeah, that tracks a little bit. Yep. No, much to our chagrin, one of the titles of this podcast we thought about was The Unmitigated Gall.
Yeah.
Thanks to Heath.
Yeah. Which would have been a fantastic name. Not to knock on our name.
No, I love our name, but it turns out another podcast has that name.
Yeah.
So,
Which, whatever.
that's fine.
Not mad.
But we thought that maybe sometimes we needed to do a segment called The Unmitigated Gall.
Absolutely.
Of this week.
Yeah. Because there's always some gall, and usually it's unmitigated.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Mitigated gall is not for me.
I prefer mine unmitigated.
Yes, you can keep your mitigated gall.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
that tracks, yes. So, Amy, what happened to you this week that could fall under the unmitigated gall category?
I have some raccoon friends in my...
That's the appropriate response.
So those of you who know me, I've been feeding some feral-ish cats out in my backyard. I've tried lots of things. I've tried taking them to the shelter. They were dropped back in my backyard. This has been years of just trying to do right by these cats. So doing the best I can. This summer, some raccoons finally decided, wait a second, we see some opportunity here. So we had a mama raccoon come and try and interrupt breakfast time every day. And then she brought her 5 babies.
Oh, God.
They disappeared. I'm going to say that they found a nice little farm somewhere up in northern Iowa. I don't know.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Now there's some ruffian raccoon that he doesn't deserve any of this, but he's coming every morning. And he has the unmitigated gall to come up to the back door and put his paws up on the back door as I'm waiting to, and the outside cats are just up on the trash cans and everything what the fuck is this? And the raccoon's just hey, where's my breakfast?
Wow.
That's some unmitigated gall. I don't
That's
owe
wild.
you anything, sir.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting power moved by a raccoon.
I'm getting power moved by a raccoon. I don't even know if it's the same raccoon or if they've just spread the word. And it's just all the raccoons in the neighborhood.
taking turns.
Yeah.
Do you think the raccoons have one of those, what's that neighborhood? It's not Facebook.
The next door.
Yeah,
thing.
next door, a next door space where they're just this
Yes.
lady gives out food. Go over there.
Yes. They're she gives out the good stuff. It's cat food. Mm-hmm. And that is apparently a delicacy. And whenever the raccoon, I have to put some out in the backyard to protect the cats. And then I look out and the raccoon is just sitting on his butt and he's just feeding himself with his hands. It is
Wow.
It is the cutest, but also the most alarming thing. He is full on just chilling out.
I love that you immediately adapted and started putting the food in the backyard.
Mm-hmm. I have to.
Yeah, I mean...
Listen, I'm nothing if not adaptable. Okay, that's the word.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one because that took some gall.
Some
Unmitigated.
no mitigated gall on
No.
behalf of this raccoon.
Wow.
Yeah. What about you, Heath? Do you have some unmitigated gall for this week?
Mine is animal related as well.
Great.
Our neighbors are out of town, and they have a cat sitter who normally comes over, but when the cat sitter can't make it, Michael and I are the backup cat sitters.
Oh.
And usually Michael goes himself, but he was out of town too, so we're on like level 3 of cat sitter here. And the other day I went over to feed this cat, and it's, they take this cat for walks, and it seems like a real high maintenance cat. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's be clear, you're a cat person. You like cats.
Yes,
you have to.
I'm a
I feel
cat
like we could
enthusiast.
stop the unmitigated gall segment right there.
Right there.
Unmitigated gall of walking your cat. Okay.
Yep.
And so I'd gone over there, and it was, he wants to be petted, but not actively. Like, you're just supposed to let your hand hang, and he'll, like, rub against your hand. Like, that kind of thing. If you try to actually, pet him, like, actually be, like, I want to say the top, but that's not the right term for this.
No, that's the right term. That's the right term.
He doesn't like that. So anyway, I was in their apartment, and the air conditioner was off because they were out of town, and it was getting warm, and I felt like I hadn't stayed long enough. But I was like, this is too much for me. So I was trying to leave, and this little rotten bastard attacked my foot because I was trying to get out the door. He wanted to get out for one of his walks. Like, he thought I was going to be that person, and that's not on the agenda, sir.
No.
And so I'm bleeding. It was pretty bad, yeah. So I didn't feel bad about leaving then, but that cat has unmitigated gall.
Now I'm really struck by the image of you walking a cat. Like, I want to see that. I feel like it would be a lot of, like, you cussing at the cat.
Right.
Also, just bleeding slightly.
And limping, probably. Yeah. Because when you see the cat with the owners, like, it's very clear who's in charge, and it's not the human.
Sure.
Right?
And
I didn't really get that before, and now I get it. I feel like they might just be afraid.
Maybe they're hostage, and maybe they're not coming back.
They might not.
They might not. They live in a different part of the city now. They just gave up
started over somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's some unmitigated gall.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What about you, Erin?
My unmitigated gall of the week goes to Amazon.
Oh, well, okay.
I mean, I know it's already a nemesis of mine, but
yes.
Okay, so there's a work function that I have to order some things for, and they happen to be a lot of beef sticks.
Oh, that's just mean. Why do you bring up beef sticks?
I know. I'm sorry. It's important to the story of the unmitigated gall.
I don't like you anymore.
For work, Amy.
And
it's a
I don't
work
care.
beef.
I don't care. It's disgusting.
These are not recreational beef sticks.
No. They're not for my own consumption.
Can that be our podcast name? Recreational beef sticks.
Okay.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. Yeah.
It's not bad.
Anyway, get back to your weird beef sticks.
Anyway, sorry. So because we have to sponsor this whole at a golf outing, and you have to give something away, and the beef sticks are a big hit because you have to have something that doesn't melt in the heat.
This
I know.
is just disgusting.
The whole thing's bad, right?
Okay.
It's a lot of beef sticks. I'm going to preface that. I have to order a lot because they
feels
fly off the
intentional.
table.
How many times you're saying beef stick?
Beef sticks. As
also
in
feels slightly
sticks of
sexual.
Beef. Yeah, exactly. So I'm aware that it's a lot of beef sticks.
Okay.
And I'm also aware that I've ordered a lot of things from Amazon in multiples. This week, the next day after I order them, I get an email that says, "Are you sure that you wanted this many beef sticks?"
So judgy, Amazon.
Yeah.
And I immediately flash like the Netflix thing, like, "Are you still watching?" And I'm like, how dare you question that?
It makes you wonder how many times people have accidentally ordered hundreds and hundreds of beef sticks from Amazon, and they're like, we better check on this.
We better check on it. And to be fair, it was the seller that emailed. And so then I was like, okay, I guess maybe they've sent beef sticks they didn't get paid for or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Unpaid for beef sticks.
Yeah, but I was like, I'm trying to do the lowest possible energy point to get this stuff to the house. I've ordered them from Amazon.
Yeah.
I didn't go to Costco. Like, I don't want any interaction about these beef sticks.
How embarrassing would it be for a neighbor or one of your kids' parents, friends, something to see you like at Costco with a whole cart full of beef sticks, like hundreds of them?
I need all of them.
Are you okay?
Do you have more in the back? Are you okay? No, I'm not. I am not okay.
Maybe Amazon has instituted some sort of watch list because, like, people who buy that many beef sticks, they're probably a terrorist.
Yeah,
right?
probably
Like,
you
a
probably
shelf
can't fly
stable.
anymore.
Yeah, you probably
I hope
can't.
you don't
Oh
have
my
any
God, you're right.
trips
yeah,
coming up.
you've
Second time this week I've been told I'm on the radar. And one was just purely for ordering beef sticks. But you're
Yeah.
right, because it does, now that I say it, it sounds like a prepper thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
It does. Yes, you're on a list somewhere.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Anyway, I had to respond and say yes. And that's all I wrote was yes. 'Cause I was like, I don't know what else to say.
Amazon doesn't deserve your context.
No.
It was like the unmitigated call to send me an email the second day. The second day. I thought this was done. I thought they were in process.
Yeah, I never wanted to think about beef sticks
I
ever
didn't
again.
until they showed up and I had to move them.
So they did arrive.
Not yet, because
Oh.
I had to say yes, and then I'm assuming that
Okay.
delayed it a day.
And all the processing for the watch list is delaying it a little
Right,
more.
yeah, they had to check
yeah.
everything and make sure that,
They're filing all your paperwork.
I wasn't, at the January 6th insurrection or
Yeah.
anything before they send the beef sticks.
They're also checking all your previously purchased items, and they're trying to create some sort of profile.
And they cannot. They cannot. It is weird. 13 ceiling fans for an apartment complex, and then, another day.
100 beef sticks.
Oh,
yeah.
it was a lot more than
Oh
100.
no.
Oh, let's guess.
500.
Close.
501.
Who wins?
Price is right strategy wins every time.
How much was it?
$7.50.
Oh, gross.
Yep, and they'll all be gone.
I hate everything about that. I mean, that's some good unmitigated. That's some good.
I'm sorry that it was,
unmitigated gall.
I know it was personally offensive.
It was personally offensive. I'm taking it as an attack.
Yeah.
A shot across
You
the bow.
should. You should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seeing that I am vegan, I should clarify why this is an attack upon my person.
Oh, I thought it was just the shape.
That's
I
right.
didn't know it was that it was
Yeah.
beef.
Shape, though, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh,
Yeah.
gross. Should we talk about 1984
I think
now?
so.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing else that leads to 1984 but beef
Yes.
sticks.
Beef stick is a gateway drug to 1984.
Yes. So as usual, we're gonna just talk about some potential things that struck us about 1984. It could be pop culture, could be embarrassing memories, could be things that affected our own person. I don't know. Could be all sorts of
personal
things.
growth. I thought that's what you were going
Yes,
to say.
sure.
I liked it.
All of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wants to start us off? Heath, you got
I
something
think
for
Heath
us?
needs to.
Yeah.
Yeah. This.
Oh, yeah. I think as we discussed a little bit before we started recording, I think what struck all of us about 1984 was just the abundance of material we have to work with. It was just crazy how much stuff came out that year. And, like Ghostbusters and Beverly Hills Cop and The Karate Kid and Gremlins and Police Academy and Footloose and
Police
Purple
Academy?
Rain. Yeah, like all these movies came out the same year, which is wild because now, you just don't have that. Like there's
We've had like 2 movies out this
Right.
year on the same weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe in 20 years we'll look back and we'll all be like, "You guys remember The Flash? It was
Yeah.
it was the greatest thing of the year." Maybe we probably won't, but maybe we will.
No.
Oh, maybe.
But for me, I was too young to be watching this movie for sure. But Revenge of the Nerds came out in 1984, which was. And for those of you who haven't seen Revenge of the Nerds, it's the story of a group of gentlemen who go off to school and they are kind of bullied by the jocks and they kind of fight back and end up sort of winning the day. And I was reading a year or two ago, I read there was an oral history in, I think it was in GQ, of making of the movie. And so a lot of the people that were in the cast, and Anthony Edwards was in the cast, and Robert Carradine and Timothy Busfield and John Goodman and
Oh, wow.
but it was, they filmed on the campus of the University of Arizona. And so they kind of spent a lot of time there. And it sounds like they had a lot of fun while they were making the movie. It sounds like they really made the most of their time in Tucson. And
As one does.
As one does. Yes.
and so part of what's in there is after the school said you could film here, what was it? The sorority council kind of objected, and they objected because of the line "We've got Bush"
Yep.
that was used there, which is a fair objection. I get why,
is.
but apparently some of the actors actually went down and met with them and convinced them it's going to be okay.
But
And
they
so-
didn't object to hair pie?
That was not mentioned.
Oh,
Maybe it wasn't mentioned in the article. Maybe that was part of it too.
Okay.
But yeah.
Cool.
So,
Yep.
and then the cast apparently all stayed at the same hotel. And apparently Robert Carradine liked to have parties in his room and would play the guitar. And one night he was hosting a party in his room and playing the guitar, and the hotel was robbed. And the two people that robbed the hotel snuck into his room and just blended into this party and just hung out while the police were called and came and investigated and then left. And then these people, when they knew the police were gone, they left.
I mean, that's a great strategy.
They just hung out while he was somebody thought they were in the crew or they were just people around and everyone yeah.
Okay, so crime strategies, we got to target a hotel where they're filming a movie and celebrities are just hanging out, and there has to be some dude that's playing the guitar every night.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the other thing that sticks out for me from the oral history was that Larry B. Scott, who was the one who played Lamar, if you remember, Lamar was the gay nerd. That he, someone commented that he said, I guess you could say that Larry was dead set on making sure that the entire town of Tucson knew that he was not actually gay.
Oh, no.
Oh, Larry.
Okay. I was hoping that was going to go another way. Yeah.
It didn't.
No, it didn't. No.
So do you remember, did you see any of these movies in the theater?
I remember seeing Ghostbusters in the theater with my
Okay.
aunt. My aunt took us in her gold Trans Am with T-tops.
Whoa!
Okay.
Yeah. And we listened to...
And you were like 8, 9?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we listened to Gloria by Laura Branigan
Yeah,
on
you
8-track
did.
in her
Yes.
car repeatedly on the way there and the way back. Yeah, it was probably the height of cool. I've never reached that height of cool.
That was the
then.
peak of cool.
Yes. Yeah, I was 8 years old and that was it. And and that's fine. I get it. Like I can't ask for more.
Wow.
But I do remember seeing that movie. I remember when the chair ate Sigourney Weaver. I was just like, this is too much for me.
This is too much.
Yeah.
Wow.
But in retrospect, I mean, I always remember being surprised when Gozer turned out to be a woman. I was like, well, that's feminism.
Feminism. Absolutely.
Yes.
The villain needs to be a woman. Yeah, absolutely.
And Gozer, yeah, fuck gender norms. Call yourself whatever you want. Your name doesn't have to be Diane.
It doesn't.
No.
I remember lobbying so hard with my parents to go see Ghostbusters.
Really?
Yeah, and we didn't end up seeing it in the theater because I think they were like, yeah, it's gonna be too scary. I think they just were just like, it looks dumb. Like they didn't want any part of it. Because I saw some other stuff in the theater that was scarier than that. So I think there was a little bit of just yeah, no, it's too much for your age. Really, they were like, that looks dumb, and they were wrong. It's a masterpiece.
They've been trying to replicate it ever since, and no one has been able to.
Right? Okay, so that's one of those that you can't reboot, but yet they've sort of tried. Like the recent Afterlife one. As much as I love Paul Rudd, that was a travesty.
Yeah, it wasn't. And it's hard, too. I mean, I get why they're trying to, take an existing property, but also, taking something that's so beloved.
Yeah, that's a tough.
There's always going to be a comparison, and you're probably not going to be able to live up to that.
No. I remember coming out because you and I saw it together. And I remember coming out and saying it focused on the kids. I didn't think it was going to focus on kids.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't sign up for kids.
I didn't sign up for kids. The hell?
If you're going to reboot a movie, it should be Splash.
Yeah.
How dare you? I loved that movie. I loved it so much.
I did too.
I don't think I understood a lot of it,
I
but I
didn't.
loved it.
Not a bit.
The whole part with John Candy speaking Swedish. Yeah. I'm putting Swedish in quotes.
Oh, I need to watch it again. Yeah. It's been a long time.
Well, I can build off of movies and stuff with a movie song.
Yeah.
Because Beverly Hills Cop came out, and I was a big fan of the Neutron Dance, which was the Pointer Sisters. Yes. It was playing at the beginning when Eddie Murphy's on that truck and he's trying to... And yes, the Pointer Sisters had so many other... better, I don't know, songs like Jump and I'm So Excited. I think they were all around this year, but this was it. It was the combo of Pointer Sisters and Eddie Murphy, and also that was a movie I was way too young to be watching, and I loved it. Also, I remember there's a scene where Eddie Murphy, they're looking at coffee grounds or something, and then he finds cocaine and he does the thing and he tastes it or tries it on his tongue or whatever. And this was one of the so many times where my dad would be watching a movie with me, and he's like, "You don't do it like that." I'm like, oh, okay. It's like, you wouldn't try it. You wouldn't try it. I should clarify that my dad was a policeman, not just a rando. That was just That's not how you
I was
do
going to
it.
ask if you watched it with
Was it just a
him and your
cokehead?
experience, but
And proceeding from that, he would ruin so many movies where it's like, oh, his gun clips out. Like, he wouldn't keep shooting at this point. Like, they didn't count the bullets. The bullets are gone. Or like, you wouldn't do it that way. You wouldn't do it that way. Like, just let me watch Hunt for Red October, Dad. Just shush.
leave it alone.
Were you a police officer on a submarine? I don't think so.
I don't think so. Were you a police officer in Beverly Hills on a cargo truck with Neutron Dance playing behind you? No.
Nope.
No.
Remember there was that whole strip club scene?
Mm-hmm.
I think you saw boobs. Again, there was a lot of boobs, just loose boobs in the early 80s and
Yes.
mid-80s in movies.
Yeah.
There's just so many boobs.
And smoking.
So
There's less
much
boobs than
smoking.
smoking these days.
Yeah. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
don't
There's
know.
less boobs in smoking.
It's funny because now you see cigarettes like a smoking. It signifies that there's something deeply wrong with the characters.
Yes.
Like they're in deep emotional turmoil if a cigarette's involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, boobs won't give you... I was going to say boobs won't give you cancer, but I guess breast cancer is
They
real.
will give you
Yes.
cancer, Heath.
Sorry, boobs.
Well,
Well.
your boobs can't give other people cancer.
True.
True. Unless you
true.
have really special,
That's
like
true.
somehow,
Like
I don't
race-
know, superpowered boobs? I don't know. Maybe when you get fake ones, you can get the option
Those-
for like superpowered.
Feel like super villain boobs,
Oh,
and you're just
okay.
shooting cancer on other people. That's not like
As
those aren't hero boobs.
As you said, Gozer was a woman, so everything is open. It's all open.
Everything's open. Well,
What do you got?
okay, I'm gonna shift just a little bit into
Yeah.
TV,
Let's do it.
and which big year for TV too in terms
Yeah.
of like shows that premiered and then were on for a long time. Murder, She Wrote,
Oh,
Miami Vice, Night Court, Charles in Charge, Who's the Boss, Cosby Show, Punky Brewster.
good Lord.
I know, Jeopardy, but my all-time favorite premiered in that year. A defining show of my childhood.
Okay.
It's called Kids Incorporated.
Oh! Wait, remind me. Because I think I'm thinking of the you can't do it on television.
Right. This
What's
is,
Kids
they
Incorporated?
worked at a club where they did little performances.
Of course
they
they
were
did.
a kid troupe, dance, sing troupe.
Okay.
But then they solved problems in between their performances. And I can literally hear the theme song right now in my head. And I loved every second of it.
Wow.
And one of the main people that you might remember from that show is Fergie.
Mm-hmm.
That's where she got her start. Yeah.
Fergie Ferg?
Fergie Ferg.
This was
Loved that
before
show.
she was. What drug was she on for a long time? Was she on meth? I think she was on meth for a while.
While
I think
she was
that
on Kids
No,
Incorporated?
I think it was Kids Incorporated, then meth, then
Then
Black
meth,
Eyed,
then
then Wild
okay.
Orchid, then Black Eyed Peas.
That sounds right. That's the right trajectory.
That's a good career.
Yeah,
fine.
that tracks. I like that. Yeah. I don't know what it was about that show, but I was in.
Wow.
I even liked it better than later down the line when Mickey Mouse Club, premiered with the dancing and singing. I was like, you're just a Kids Incorporated knockoff.
Oh.
They already did
How
it better.
dare you?
And it was a little bit edgier, and it was great.
Wow.
I mean, they solved all kinds of problems. They caught a graffiti artist.
Oh no!
Oh.
They learned how to give orders but not be bossy,
Oh.
which I still use.
Isn't that a little sexist? Was that just for the girls?
No, it was a guy.
Oh,
That was-
okay.
Yeah,
All right.
he was taking over too much and just giving orders.
Oh,
And some of his
subverting.
ideas were good, but his delivery was bad.
Oh.
And here
It's
you
a
go.
trap.
Kids Incorporated solved it, did a song and dance, end.
Wow. So you knew what to expect every week.
Every week, you got the same thing. But I do specifically remember that I used to have to take turns because we only had one TV at some period of time. And I would have to take turns with that and Jeopardy because it was on at the same time as Jeopardy. So that's why I also really liked Jeopardy because I would watch that and be enthralled.
Wow, that's a real Sophie's choice.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, it's not my turn today. So no Kids Incorporated, just Jeopardy.
Wait, so who was watching? Who was making you?
dad.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
I do see. There's someone I follow on Instagram. I think the account is. I think it's Jeffrey Mixed. And
Yes,
he posts clips from Kids Incorporated.
Yes.
And it's funny. It's always the kids singing. It's like a 7-year-old singing a song that was very much written for an adult to be singing, and they're trying to convey emotions they do not understand.
Right.
And they're just sort of like always a little mopey and like staring off into nowhere. And it's like it's like Fergie singing "Careless Whisper" or something like that. And it's not.
Maybe that's what led to
not
Meth.
selling it.
Like
Maybe.
she couldn't handle the emotion.
It just always appealed to my sense of like drama and what I thought like theater and being a singer was. It was just like staring off and being, getting really
solving
into the
crimes
song that you didn't understand. Yeah, and then solving problems in between, being helpful.
This explains a lot about you.
I know it does.
Yeah.
But KIDS.
Nope.
Kids Incorporated.
I see where you're going. Nope.
I think we should let's reboot that, but call it Kids LLC.
Oh.
Kids LLC acting as a C corp.
DBA.
Doing business as. Oh man.
What were like the ages of the kids? Were they teenagers?
It was a variety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the other thing that was weird too. It
Yeah.
was probably from like maybe 8 to like 15, and it was
Yeah.
like, explain to me why this
Why are they
15-year-old
hanging
hanging out
out?
with like this
Yeah.
8-year-old. Like that doesn't really
it didn't
make
work
any sense.
in terms
Okay.
of if you took it out of that setting, it got weird fast.
Okay.
But
Heath, you got something else for us?
Oh, of course I do. Well, we mentioned Footloose a little bit ago, sort of in a fleeting way. But there's a song from Footloose called "Let's Hear It for the Boy" by Denise Williams, the incomparable Denise Williams. And if you haven't watched the video, I would suggest checking out the video because this is, videos were still pretty new then. People were still getting a handle on it. But oddly enough, they did not include anything from Footloose, the movie, in this video. It's just her kind of going from like set to set, dancing with young men, like people that are like 20, 30 years younger than her. And she's just, and then she's just sort of singing to them, like they're in a classroom at one point, and then they're in like this big giant fancy house, and the kid's playing the piano, and he's a nerd, but like she brings out like the dancer in him.
Of course.
And he jumps up on a grand piano,
as
and just
you
starts dancing.
do when someone sings to you.
And it kind of all culminates with she's on like a big green, I assume it's made of polyurethane because it's not grass.
Okay.
Football field, and there's two football players, one from each team, and they sort of have a face off, and then one wins and then just starts dancing with Denise Williams.
Wow.
And then the field just fills up with all sorts of young men just dancing while she sings.
Wow.
And
What a time to be a creative.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what you wrote and came up with for video, and it went to air.
yeah.
And he remembers it 40 years later.
Yeah. I remembered it, but I did watch it the other day just to sort of, I was like, could this have been real? And it was.
What do you think you liked most about that video?
I think I could do that. I could have been one of these young men on dancing with her. I could have totally been, I was qualified for that.
Sure.
Yeah. And she seemed, I mean, at the time it didn't seem odd to me that, this lady who was probably in her mid 30s was just hanging out with a kid like that wasn't hers.
Did she have a gold Trans Am?
I don't know. It's funny because when I remember watching it, I was with my aunt.
Yep.
When I saw this, because apparently in 1984 that was the person I hung out with, was my aunt.
I was gonna say it sounds like your aunt was the key to a lot of pop culture at this time. Yeah.
Another story about that gold Trans Am is she took us to a drive-in movie once, and there were 2 drive-in theaters in the Waterloo Cedar Falls area, and she took us to the wrong one.
Okay.
we were going to see Smoking the Bandit or something like that, and she went to the wrong one that was showing a horror movie. Oh. And so we went to the wrong one, bought tickets, got food and stuff, and then the movie started. It was a horror movie, and then we drove down University Avenue to the other one and caught most of Smoking the Bandit.
That's amazing.
Do you remember your aunt's reaction, like when she realized, oh no?
Not really. I do remember when we pulled in. I remember the person, when we bought the tickets, had a weird look on their face when they saw this woman with like 3 kids in the car going to say, I didn't even know what it was, like Friday the 13th Part 3 or something like that.
You and your brothers?
Yeah.
You're all little. Nice.
Get used to it, kids. This is what life is. Somebody in the woods is going to hunt you down.
Always.
It's gonna
Yeah. I'm thinking about the fact that this was the year that Vanessa Williams won the Miss America crown and then was booted because she had the audacity to take some tasteful nudes. Which...
Tasteful. I love it.
That's a common thing these days. But in 1984, I also feel like it was probably a little racist.
Probably.
Because I imagine there were a lot of Miss Americas that maybe had some less tasteful nudes that they were just like, it's fine.
Yeah.
But because she was the first African-American Miss America, and it was such a big thing, and then it was taken away from her.
I mean, I feel like now it might even be a requirement that you submit
have
your
some
nudes
nudes.
before you can even get into the Miss America pageant.
Yeah.
Well, and it was done under, I mean, it was, right, like, she had taken those pictures before she won, and then
Yes.
Penthouse got a hold of them and published them afterwards, right?
Yes.
So it was sort of, she wasn't in on it.
But yet it was her fault.
It was her fault because you should have done that in the first place.
But, I mean, when you stand back and look at it, though, like, clearly she's by far the most successful Miss America ever. Like,
Yeah.
all the things that she's gone on to do. Like, I don't even know. I can't think of one other Miss America. Not one.
Nope.
Nope, nothing comes to mind.
But yet, I was trying to think of the song and a lyric.
Save the best for last.
Yes. I went to Colors of the Wind.
That's a good one, too.
Oh, was that her?
Pocahontas, yeah.
Oh.
Listen, if you've never listened to Colors of the Wind while walking through Joshua Tree National Park, something I've done, I recommend it, everybody. Get on a plane and head to Southern California.
There you go. Fuzzy Memories travel tip.
Yep.
Were you eating some edibles too?
No, I was stone sober.
You were
And,
just- you
and
were
then
just
later,
loving it.
yeah, then later that day we saw Jason Momoa while we were eating lunch.
Yes.
That was
Yes,
a
you
big
did.
day for me.
That is a
day.
big day.
Where's that day fall with like Gold Trans Am versus that day?
It's neck and neck. I would say
Okay.
Gold Trans Am going to Ghostbusters and then just barely eked out the win.
Yeah.
Just barely eked it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, years from now we'll still talk about the day with Pocahontas and Jason Momoa.
Uh-huh.
That's a great day.
It is.
Just to have the forethought to know that you should play that song while doing that is
Yeah.
sort of it. I mean, I'm sort of in awe of
I'll
that.
be honest, most of my days I'm like, can I play Colors of the Wind now? Most of the time, at least once in a day. That's what I think. Should I? Should I do it now?
Okay.
I'm going to now go through all my days that way.
Yep.
I'm just being at the grocery store and it's just like, I feel like I should because they're not. Someone should be playing Colors of the Wind.
Someone should be bringing this to today.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna take a turn into true crime for a
Yes,
second.
you will.
And 1984 is when we've discovered that several preschool teachers were doing horrible satanic things.
Satanic Panic. Yeah. Is that
Horrible
a theme?
things.
That feels like a theme song.
It
in
should
the
be.
making.
Yeah, like a
Satanic
little-
Panic.
That would be a good podcast name too.
Yes, it would. This was the premiere of the trial.
Oh, yeah.
And this is when all the information came out, supposedly that they were accused of doing.
Yeah.
And then there was all these, I was going to say lookalikes. That's not the right word.
It feels
copycat
there was, there was a
situations.
ton of
Yeah.
trials after that, like similar
People
situations.
assuming that all these horrible, which if you followed that at all, you know that it was proven to be completely false and untrue. But man, Satanic Panic took off in 1984. It was having a year.
I don't know. I'm not a Satanist myself. If
Okay.
you are, God bless.
Okay.
Or Satan bless, whatever. However that works. But that just seems like a lot of work to go to school and become a teacher and get a job at preschool. Like, just go snatch some kids out of the park.
Yeah.
Just
Like,
go
you
to the
know?
woods and find some kids wandering
There's some way
around.
lower thresholds to get
Yeah.
kids. Kids Incorporated.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we were seeing examples everywhere. You just needed to become like a Girl Scout leader.
Yeah.
And you got a group of kids.
Or just
to
become
go
a
to school.
priest.
Yeah.
I
Why
mean, just
get a
become
low-paying
priest.
job where you're underappreciated just to snatch a baby?
Yes, it's so much easier to snatch babies.
So much
than
better.
that.
And turn them to Satan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like at Halloween, and when people are just like, don't eat like a homemade caramel apple, there's going to be razor blades
Yep.
in there. People putting drugs and things. It's like people aren't even handing out a whole Snickers bar. They're not going to hand out drugs on Halloween.
No.
Their drugs are expensive.
I like to think about it. If you go like a step back and think about these parents finding out about this preschool and your kids there.
Yeah.
And I imagine there's so much groupthink going on that it was like, we don't really believe it, but man, Carol took this to the nth
Carol
degree.
took it hard.
And we can't really be on the other side because if
Right.
it did happen, then we look like assholes. But
Yep.
I don't really think it happened. Like there had to be, because there's enough of that as a parent now where you're like, I don't think that's
Right.
big of a deal. But I also am not going to be the poster child who's speaking against it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm just going to let you spin out and I'll just kind of quietly stand here.
I don't have it in me to argue with Carol this week about Satanists. I don't.
No.
No.
That's such a good point. I mean, if we just even think about today, what's happening with like book banning and all the critical race theory, it feels like there's probably so many people that are like, well, all right, if Carol's doing it, I guess I should, agree with it or whatever.
Right. There's just so many, that you're like, I don't know.
So what was the detail with it? Like they accused these preschool teachers of nasty business.
Yes. They said that they were doing rituals with them that had like the kids flying in the air, or they
right.
drilled holes into the kids. But
Oh.
it's
You would
weird
think
because
there'd
like
be
that's
evidence.
pretty easy
Yeah,
to
I feel
prove.
like you could check that.
Like
Yeah.
I don't have a hole in my child,
well.
so that's
Magic.
what made me think that. Like you're taking your kid home and you're giving him a bath, and you're like, he doesn't have a hole.
Did someone drill a hole in your head, honey?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Were you
talk to
trying
Satan
today?
today? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how in 1984 did it make sense that Satan was just hanging out in preschools?
And it took like 6 years to clear it up. Like
Yeah.
it was like a 6-year trial. I mean, the amount of time and energy spent on this
Yeah.
was huge.
But just think of the teachers that just for that long had to just keep going and being
Yeah.
like, I'm not a Satanist. I
Yeah.
did not drill a hole in your child's head, and just sort of defend these
Yeah.
idiotic accusations.
And then they're just known as that forever.
Right.
Like you can't escape that.
No.
Even
No.
if it's proven I'm not a Satanist.
It doesn't matter. That's what everybody thinks. Or thinks that there was something. Because if you heard the story but didn't really know the context, you're going to think, well, something happened that made them think maybe they were abusive or something. And
Yeah.
this is how it got. So
I mean, there were a lot of good movies this year. Maybe that's why Satan came back. Maybe he was just like, they're really cranking out some stuff up there.
Yeah.
I want
I
to
need to
see
get to the
it.
theater.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hang out at the preschool in my spare time.
Romancing the Stone sounds great, and I'm coming back to see it.
Oh my god, I loved that movie too. There were so many of these movies that I recorded on VHS and then would watch again and again. And over the years, I would start realizing, wait, they're saying what? And it was a developmental experience every time.
Yeah. And we've talked, I mean, just in casual conversation before, Grease, which did not come out in 1984, if you listen to some of the words in those songs, children should not have been.
Which I don't think I
hearing them.
realized until maybe college.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, oh, interesting. And I was singing this with glee when I was 8 years old.
And the thing is, like, high schools put on, productions of
My
Grease all the
Catholic
time.
high school
too.
did a production
yeah.
of Grease.
Yeah. There's a pregnancy scare in that. Why are the Catholics even,
that was taken
entertaining
out.
that?
Okay.
There was no, it was just fun.
And they just changed all the language and everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which is not what you want. I mean,
No.
you're already at a high school production of it. You know it's going to be bad, but you definitely don't want different words.
Yeah. What's worse, like different words or hearing young Catholic kids say chicks will cream?
Oh, gosh, that's a toss-up. And I got to go with different words.
Okay.
Because there's some kind of fun in this one. There's not over here.
True.
Over here, you're just sort of like, oh.
Oh, bummer.
Oh.
Okay.
This really makes you recognize that you're literally watching this on stage. Where this, you can kind of have an out-of-body experience and be like, I can't believe they got away with it.
Yeah.
This, you're like, my life sucks.
Yeah.
This, you're like, well, I'm making the best of it.
Moral of the story, don't go to a high school production of Grease.
That is the moral of the story.
Especially not a Catholic one.
Not at a Catholic school.
No, definitely
Yep.
not. Definitely not.
Keith, since you've already proclaimed you're not a Satanist,
I am not.
No.
what else you got for us from 1984?
Another song that came out in 1984 was All Night Long, a Lionel Richie tune, which had a kind of a calypso feel to it,
Oh, yeah, we're all dancing. Woo! Amy really lost herself in it. Yeah.
Yes, please proceed.
And I love the Lionel Richie version, obviously, but there's also a clip online of someone named Cilla Black, Cilla Black, and you should look it up, her version of All Night Long, because it's part of a Christmas special, which doesn't really make sense, because she's just singing. She's not singing it. It doesn't. There's not sleigh bells added to it, right? It's still just all night. It's just her singing all night long, but she's on this living room set. And it's just her and a whole bunch of kids. Again, an adult woman hanging out with a bunch of kids. And there's not really an
Maybe that's why
explanation.
Satan was on everyone's
Maybe,
minds. They're like, all these
maybe.
adults are hanging out with kids. Ooh.
But yeah, she's just singing it, and they're just dancing. They're not good dancers. They're bad dancers. And then at one point, they just kind of all form a line and kind of snake their way to the door, and she's just handing out gifts as she sends these kids out into the winter's night with no coats on. And then she just finishes the song, and it is like, what is happening?
Wow.
When was that from? Do you know?
I bet. I mean, it must have been within a couple of years after
Okay.
the original version of All Night Long came out. But yeah,
I mean, that's some unmitigated gall to try and redo Lionel Richie. First off,
That's true.
yeah,
and second, to turn it into a weird holiday thing.
right. And it's just the idea. I don't know why. To me, I think it sounds funny that just this whitest white lady you can find is just like, let's do a Lionel Richie tune with a calypso feel. Like, yeah, that's for me. That's okay. No one should question this.
Yeah, that feels right. Yeah.
Wow, that immediately made me think of modern day reference to Real Housewives of Luann doing that Christmas song where they're all like around the globe, and like someone seeing that in 20 years, like finding that clip and being like, what? Well, what do you have?
I was going to say, wait, are you co-opting me?
No.
You moving ahead in line?
No.
It's my turn.
No.
And I want to talk about weird foods that we ate.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because, listen, every year we're going to find some weird foods. And I just wonder how I functioned as a human being when I was eating hot dogs and Kraft singles all the time.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I do that now.
I know. Should I admit that I love a grilled cheese with a Kraft single?
No, but I'm talking like,
Has there been some research on how this isn't good for you that I missed?
I thought you meant you cut your hot dog and put a Kraft single in it because I've done that.
Okay. Maybe this wasn't the right category. But it leads me to like just thinking about like Midwest foods, and Iowa foods, and how like even growing up in Iowa, I don't think I had a vegetable until we started eating like corn on the cob and stuff. But then it got me thinking about the topic that you and I visited a lot in Broads and Books, which was Midwestern salads.
Salads.
And how we survived as a species, as a Midwestern subspecies, living on these things that are called salads.
But mainly mayo.
Mainly mayo. I would like each of you to describe a salad that you had growing up. And you know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about salad.
I know. Yeah. My grandma made a salad that we were required to eat before we could have dessert. We had to eat our salad. I'm using air quotes.
Okay.
Because it was just Jell-O and whipped cream that she fluffed together, and it made this kind of like fluffy cloud-like substance. And she's like, "Yeah, you can have dessert if you eat your salad." I'd be like, "No problem."
And then what did you have for dessert after that?
Well, she made the most phenomenal cinnamon rolls or apple pie or like an actual dessert, but what we ate was also dessert, but as a salad.
Yeah, nary a fruit or vegetable in that salad.
No. Oh no, she wasn't one of those that tried to sneak fruit in the Jell-O. Nope. It was whipped cream and Jell-O.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That one sticks out.
How about you, Heath? Did you have a salad that stuck out?
Well, I would like to, first of all, give credit to the person that had the foresight to be like, yeah, we should eat salads. Well, fine. This is a salad.
Yes. Yes. We need to find out who that is and celebrate that person.
Yes. I'm not going to eat stuff I don't want, but I'll eat salad. I'm going to call whatever I want salad.
Yeah.
I remember we had once in a while it was called Beaver salad.
Oh no, this is going bad already.
He said Beaver salad.
Beaver salad.
Yeah, I'm already...
But I think people call it like different things, but it's broccoli with there was some onions in it, and there was like I think sunflower seeds, and there was like
so some nutritional value.
Yeah, then there was some sort of probably mayonnaise based dressing or something that kind of pulled it all together. There were raisins in it.
Yeah. We called it trees and raisins.
Okay, there you go.
Is not that I like beaver salad way better.
I don't know why it's called beaver salad because I mean there aren't beavers in it.
Not that you know of. Maybe it was one of those things that when there was too much, you just threw them out and hoped that the beavers got at it.
Because it was neither no beavers, no salad. Let's call it beaver salad.
Or maybe because everyone was kind of like a beaver eating it, like you're eating broccoli and then there's like crunchy bits, and you're like,
that's a good one.
That is a great one. Beaver salad.
We always had Jell-O
also a good name for a podcast.
Beaver salad. Yes. Yeah, that might go in the name of this episode.
Yeah, this episode should definitely be
Beaver
named Beaver
salad.
salad. Yeah.
We typically just did like red Jello with bananas, and that was our salad.
Okay. Yeah.
But then when I got older and I got to know more people that especially lived in like rural Iowa, I heard about Snickers salad.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So remind me what was in Snickers salad, because I think
Apples, Snickers, Cool Whip. Usually the Cool Whip's mixed with like pudding.
Yeah.
And milk. Sometimes people throw little marshmallow bits in there, chocolate chips, because the Snickers aren't enough.
That's
That's a special treat, the marshmallows. We get a little sweet in there.
Yeah, you want to balance out.
So somebody probably said, eat your Snickers salad before you have dessert.
Yeah. And
That makes total sense. Yeah.
Did you ever try Snickers salad?
No.
Oh.
No, I never discovered it was a thing until like
Okay.
I met.
You grew up in the city.
I grew up, that's right. That's right. Our salad was Jello and bananas. We were cosmopolitan.
Yeah, you were.
You were the Rockefellers of
You had a
Georgia.
nice color combo there with red Jello and bananas.
We had green beans in a can and corn on the cob. That was city life.
I like it.
Yeah.
We did have Jello with fruit sometimes, like in it, like the orange with mandarin oranges, or
I feel like that was important to say because remember, as we come at our pop culture, we are from the Midwest.
Yeah.
We are from Iowa. Sometimes things didn't come to us until years later.
That's true.
So we may be a little loosey-goosey with years and with our memories.
This entire time that we've been talking about weird foods, there's like this kind of squishy noise happening in my ear because all those salads have that kind of squishy, like you put a spoon in it, it's like
And almost like a plastic sound when you're eating it
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
Because they were all served out of plastic bowls.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Always Tupperware. Yeah.
chilled later. That was the thing, You're fancy if you had the chilled Tupperware.
Oh, we didn't have that shit. Not on these
That was
sides.
a later down the line thing. You could buy special Tupperware that you chilled in the fridge so you could leave your salad out longer. Your mayonnaise-based salad could be out at a picnic.
Cool.
Can you imagine how many lives Tupperware has saved?
So many.
I know. Where's their like prize? Where's their Nobel Peace Prize?
Weren't they
should
the
get one.
original MLMs?
Yeah, for 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they still are. Because
To their credit, though, at least people got something out
Yes,
of
they
it.
did.
It's not
They got
like,
a physical thing
Yeah,
that survived.
They're not selling weight loss shakes. That
True.
That's true.
Do not do that.
Oils. Yeah.
Oils,
None
all
of that.
kinds of things you can sell. Leggings that have holes and smell moldy.
Moldy, exactly.
Yeah,
Whereas Tupperware will survive the apocalypse.
they probably will.
Yeah.
Well, two things jumped out to me as my final one for this 1984, and that were two toys that were deeply important to me that came out this year.
Okay.
The first one was Cabbage Patch Dolls did not premiere this year.
Okay.
But they took off so hard that Cabbage Patch had to stop their ad campaign. They literally pulled their ads because they needed to put all their resources into making dolls because they could not keep them in stock.
That makes it sound like they took like a copywriter and was like, sorry, Craig, you're making dolls this week. Get down there and start sewing hair on these heads, please.
Yes.
We need your fingers. Get down
We need
there.
everyone working 24/7 on these Cabbage Patch dolls. And the other thing was Pound Puppies. And terrible name now to think about it, but I loved those little.
Pound puppies, the ones with like the weighted legs?
They came in
or
like a little cardboard thing that looked like they came from the Pound. Like it was like almost like a little miniature jail cell on and you opened up and it had sad eyes because they were in the Pound. But then you adopted it, so now he's happy, but his eyes never changed.
Yeah, no.
Because they'd seen dark, dark things.
That dog's got a lot of baggage.
Yeah. It's a Pound Puppy with emotional baggage. And somehow I related immediately. I was like, I need all the Pound Puppies.
I'm in a prison myself. I need it. Yeah.
I need all these Pound Puppies.
Oh.
I wish they would have come with like an explanation of why the dog was sad.
Yeah.
like
Yes.
this Pound Puppy saw its mother get run over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the Beanie Babies with names, but
And
a
he
whole
can't eat
backstory.
cheese, so this is why he is sad.
Yes, or like our statue at the downtown library that is always crying, and it's because of the over commercialization of children's literature.
Yeah.
Often what causes my tears.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
I mean, there's a
relatable.
reason. There's a reason.
Yeah, when I cry in the shower, it's often over the over commercialization of children's literature.
When I cry out in the night. because of the over-commercialization of children's literature.
Did you ever get involved in Cabbage Patch Kids or anything like that?
No, but there was a girl I went to school with. She got one, and it was on the news.
No.
Yes. Yes, she somehow her parents got her one.
Connections.
Yeah, and she was I don't know, it was like, I feel like that's what it would have been like to go to elementary school with Paris Hilton. I mean, she didn't act like that at all, but she was a celebrity.
She was your Paris Hilton.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she was in the newspaper about it at least once, and she was on TV about it too, and people were just like, yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
I remember wanting one, but A, they were really expensive, right? Mm-hmm. And then B, they were always out. So I remember like one Christmas, and it may have been 1984, where like there was a big box at the Christmas tree, and I was like, oh, this is it. And then I opened it, and it was a knockoff, and I was so disappointed.
I had one.
Did
But
you?
I had it way after the fact because I was only 3
yeah.
nights. So I had it like probably after the peak died down. It was easy to get one. But my grandma sewed clothes for it. So I had all kinds of, I named it and it was a whole thing.
Can we figure out why was it so popular? Because they're
creepy.
Hideous.
They are hideous.
Creepy.
I think, I don't know, but I assume it was just once they were difficult to get your hands on and everybody wanted it, right? It became a thing. But like when you look at the box, I remember like they were pulling these babies out of the ground. That was the story. Like these kids were planted. Like the head would pop up out of the dirt like a goddamn zombie.
Panic on this?
Yeah. And they had that weird curly hair that was just looped yarn.
Yeah. And then you had to adopt them, and it was a whole thing. And it was just like,
yeah, you had to like
some sort of certificate.
You could like sign. Yeah.
That's so weird.
And
Satan's behind that.
They had weird names, and I mean, none of them were just named like Kim.
No.
This is my Cabbage Patch dog, Kim.
Way to bring us back. I like it.
It was that's an important toy that I remember. I don't know why. I remember the clothes. I can't say I remember having a lot of like really great playtime with my Cabbage Patch doll. Like I don't have vivid memories of that. I have vivid memories of the Pound Puppies, like me, stacking them up or being like, oh, there's so many I don't have and they're so sad and how will I get them all?
So you were basically like me now with all the cats outside and the raccoons and all the creatures. Like, I got to protect them all.
I got to get them all.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
That's good to know. All right. So I heard you have a game for us.
I do. We didn't mention any after school specials from 1984, but there's some gems.
Well, listen, we're probably going to have to revisit 1984 just with all
there's
the
just
stuff.
Too much stuff.
There's stuff on my list we didn't get to. And there's so
no
much
one
more.
even brought up jelly shoes.
No one brought up jelly shoes.
Oh my gosh. I loved a jelly shoe.
I wanted to talk about Red Dawn and how it scarred me for life.
Oh
yeah.
So we'll do that next time.
That's a definitely part 2 situation.
Yeah.
So I thought that what I would do is say the title of some after school specials and you guys have to guess what it was about.
Okay.
I'll start with an easy one. Mom's on strike.
So wait. This was an actual title.
This is the actual title of an after school special that aired in 1984. Mom's on strike.
Was this like a Normal Ray, but with kids? Like Kids Incorporated production of Normal Ray?
I'm picturing like a Mr. Mom kind of situation with like Michael Keaton because mom went back to work and holy shit, I'm a dad. I got to take care of these kids.
Yeah.
How am I going to do this? I'm going to watch soap operas all day. That's what I'm going to do.
I'm going to say mom had a second family and went to live with them.
Yeah. I like that one. Let's go with that one.
That would be so good. So good. This is so disappointing. Overworked mom refuses to do anything until the kids help with chores.
Wow. So are you going to watch this and take notes from it?
Perhaps.
Okay.
Perhaps I will. As
All
per
right.
part 2.
Yeah,
Maybe
okay.
what we do is after we get through them, you tell me which one you want me to watch and take notes
All
on.
right. Great.
Because you don't want to ruin that out of the gate. I can't commit to all these,
Good
and there's
point.
some gems.
Okay. All right.
All right. The Almost Royal Family.
Oh, no.
The Almost Royal Family.
So is it like, like a Princess Diaries kind of situation?
Is this about Harry and Meghan?
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'll go with that. I like Heath's story better.
Okay. Family moves to a secluded island and decide their royalty because they're the only ones that live there.
Oh, so it's about mental health problems.
This was an actual after. What was that supposed to teach us?
Yeah.
Run away from your problems.
Yeah. And just pretend that you're royalty, and you will be.
Here's a good one.
Okay.
The hero who couldn't read. The hero who couldn't read.
I'm going to say it was a football player.
Yep.
Yeah. that was getting all the accolades. He's in the newspaper, but he can't read the newspaper because he can't read.
You are so close. It's not even funny. All you got wrong was that it was a basketball player. And the teacher is determined to teach him to read. He's illiterate. Completely illiterate. Somehow made it all the way to high school.
Somehow.
Illiterate. The hero. Hero. That couldn't read.
Yeah, that's some strong language there.
Out of step.
I just pictured Channing Tatum and Jenna Dewan Tatum.
That might not be far
I've
off.
seen Out of Step 2, The Streets. Is that related to this?
And 3, Electric Boogaloo. Assuming there's a dance competition.
This seems too early to have a gay dancer in
Oh.
an after-school special. So,
Yeah.
I mean, secretly gay.
yeah. I'm going to say it's a 80-year-old woman who passes for 15 and joins a dance troupe.
That's the special I wanted.
And gets a 15-year-old boyfriend in the process.
Oh, so close. Teenage girl wants to try out for a successful dance group, but the fear of failure holds her back.
That's boring.
The entire plot is her saying she's going to do it and then not doing it.
Okay. That's just like every day in our lives. That's boring.
Okay, I got one more.
All right.
The Great Love Experiment.
Oh, no. Is this where the gay stuff comes in?
I was going to say anal.
Wow, 1984 got weird.
Yeah.
The Great Love Experiment. It's got to be something with Satan. Satan's got to come in.
Is it scientists?
You would think so with the word experiment.
Yeah.
Mhm. No, just a group of popular girls lure a timid girl into a makeup experiment with unexpected results.
What? They made a whole special.
So here's what I noticed about 1984 after school specials. They were soft.
Okay. Yeah.
But now the next one, these were actually in chronological order, and the next one after Out of Step was in January of 1985. Boom, suicide.
Oh!
Like they said, we got to up our game.
Yeah.
This isn't doing it anymore. Makeup, dance troupe.
No, we got to
Secluded
get
islands.
to the stuff.
Like,
gotta
I want
get
to
to
know what
serious
the unexpected results were with the makeup one.
Yeah.
Because unless at the end she just had makeup on, the results were pretty expected. Right?
But from what I could
Yeah.
understand from the plot without watching it, it seemed as though they were trying to make shit out of her, and she actually looked good in the makeup,
Oh,
and then
my
she became more
goodness.
popular, and
and
guys
then-
were interested. You know, the age-old, like...
So it's a she's all that sort of scenario.
Exactly,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
They took her glasses off.
Yeah.
and-
Oh my gosh, she was beautiful.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one other one called Summer Switch, where a father and son switch spots, and I was like, that's Freaky Friday. Like,
Yeah.
Or vice versa, or like father, like son. There was a
Yes.
whole, for a
whole
while. There
genre.
was, yeah. I think, what was it? Fred Savage and Judge Reinhold did one.
Yes.
And then it was Kirk Cameron and Dudley Moore. Was it
Oh
Kirk
my
Cameron and Dudley Moore?
God.
Was that who it was?
oh my gosh.
Which is a match made in heaven.
ABC did it first as an after school
Yeah,
special.
obviously. I bet the special effects were stunning.
I mean, a lot of it. So out of those for 1984, let me know, and I'll watch and take notes for you on.
I'm kind of partial to you moving to a place and just declaring yourself queen.
yeah, right.
Yeah, that seems.
It is kind of interesting. Oh, and guess who was in that one?
Who?
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Oh my god. She was one of the kids?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was an excellent game, and you know how I feel about games.
I know. I knew it was a low stakes enough though that it
Yes.
wouldn't feel threatening to you.
Right. Thank you. Thanks for joining us on Fuzzy Memories.
We'll be back in 2 weeks exploring more of the the weirdest decades.
Will you bring another game for us?
Of course, every time.
All right.
I got this.
And maybe we should return to unmitigated golf because that was fun.
That was fun.
Maybe that should be a thing.
Yeah, I think that should be a thing.
Okay.
It's fun.
We need an outlet.
Yes.
We're going to explore
It's a nice touchstone for where we're at.
I'll update you on the raccoon situation. It'll be great.
It'll be great. I'll
Yeah.
let you know if I got my beef sticks.
That I'm fine without knowing. It's fine.
We can find out if his wounds have healed.
If I come back with 1 foot, you know what happened. If you like the show, tell your friends. Use your socials. Do what you do online, unless it's gross and bad. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. We don't want to condone that. So until next time, stay rad.